Welcome back to Level 1 here in Auckland, New Zealand. Sometimes I say we're the only show pony in town, but this time we are the only show pony in the world. This fight is going to be worldwide. Over 180 countries will be watching this fight come Saturday night. TV3 in Samoa, main event in Australia, DAZN with the rest of the world. It is going to be quite a showpiece for New Zealand. No cardboard cutouts, no pumped-in sound. It's going to be a legit packed house at Spark Arena, and I can't wait to get this thing rolling. This is brought to you by David Higgins from Team Duco, Eddie Hearn from Matchroom, and of course, we've got Lou DeBella from DeBella Entertainment. Are you ready to meet the fighters, ladies and gentlemen? Press, what are you going to do? Yeah. They have to be here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the red corner on the night, would you please welcome Team Fa, WBO ranked number 5, and the WBO Oriental Heavyweight Interim Champion. This is Mr. Junior Fa, his trainer Eugene Behrman, and manager Mark Cadell. All right, and his opponent who will be fighting out of the blue corner on the night, ladies and gentlemen, this is Team Parker, WBO world rank number 3 and former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker, his trainer Kevin Barry, and manager, the incomparable Mr. David Higgins. This is Team Parker.
I got this shot.
Trainer, my gango. Just make sure you lean in, okay? Joseph?
I will, David.
Well, here we go, folks. 2 New Zealand fighters. That's even sounds better. Top 5 in the world. Joseph Parker, ranked number 3 in the world in the WBO, former WBO heavyweight world champion, 29 years of age. 27 wins, 21 by KO. Took Anthony Joshua to the distance, suffered a narrow defeat to Dillian White, has never been knocked out. Put 21 guys on the canvas. Junior Fa, ranked number 5 in the WBO, 31 years of age, 19 wins, never been beaten. 10 of those wins come by way of KO. 2 South Auckland boys, one of Samoan descent, one of Tongan descent, both proud of their Kiwi and Pacific heritage. It's not rocket science. They've met before, but that was the amateur days. But 2 and 2, nothing between these two, or is there? Joe's had a high-profile career. Junior has just quietly moved his way through the ranks. The question we'll have to ask, or may get answered at the end of this fight, is who is the best heavyweight in New Zealand? Is it Joseph Parker, or is it Junior Fa? Only days now until we find out. You've got to be a little bit excited about this one. And we have to commend David Higgins at the end of the table, founder and director of Duco Events, Joseph Parker's manager, the Duco Events team, for pulling off what many around the world are going, how do you do that? Well, they have done it once again. And David, I'd like you to say a few words about the event, and welcome.
Oh, look, hey, thank you, Stephen, and thank you, everyone here. Thank you to the fighters and the teams participating. Look, this has been a tricky promotion, to be honest. You know, there was some coverage about the Tua Cameron fight. It's kind of like deja vu. And in all the promotions we've done, I'd probably put this in the top 3 sort of trickiest to put together. You know, we've had sickness-related delays. We've had COVID hanging over us. I have to admit, I was very nervous, actually, and very much relieved when we went back to level 1 yesterday. Had we not, we would have had to shift the date out, and it's not like moving a music concert. There's dozens of complicated contracts, international TV. So anyway, I'm just pleased that we're on, and I think also I'm pleased that both guys are fully fit. The delay, I think, was a blessing in disguise. Junior was carrying, I think, an injury or health issue, and Joseph took the opportunity to get some surgery himself. So both guys are fully fighting fit at their best, so there'll be no excuses. And this will undoubtedly be the biggest heavyweight boxing event in New Zealand history. And then I think, finally from me, to thank the foundation partners of the event, Matchroom, DAZN, Spark Sport, NZME, Stonewood Homes, Headquarters, and everyone else as well. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, David. So let's get on to the two main protagonists beside me. You mentioned, of course, you're first up. Have you spoken to Shane? He was the underdog going in. Many are saying you are the underdog going in. Have you spoken to him about how not to get knocked out early?
I have been speaking to Shane Cameron, but this was a while ago. He just told me just to enjoy the ride, really, and then, you know, just to make the most of this opportunity that I've been given. And, you know, this is a huge one for me. I'm taking it with both hands.
You have gone on record quite openly and said you can knock Joseph out. Can you?
Yeah, I can beat him.
Can you knock him out?
If I hurt him, I'll take him down.
Are you the better fighter in this one? I'm hearing a lot of good talk about the way your mobility is better. Do you feel you're in a better space to beat Joseph Parker?
I feel much better than my old self a few months ago. You know, I'm feeling fully prepared for this fight. I feel like I'm peaking at the right time. Man, I'm just feeling good. I'm getting excited. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling good. I can't wait for the night.
What's your chin like? Have you got a good chin? Because you know Joseph can hit.
He can hit. I can move. I can dodge punches. And
So what you're saying is you feel that Joseph is slower.
good summer, man.
He's good. He's good. This guy's
Pretty
good.
good, mate.
Are you going to answer the question?
He has strengths, he has weaknesses. I have strengths, I have weaknesses. I feel like I can figure them out. I feel like we have a good plan that we're going to execute on the night to make sure that I come out on top.
All right, Joseph, there's a lot of pressure on you. I mean, we've seen it already in the papers the last couple of days. I mean, this could be a career make or breaker. Is that how you approach this one?
Yeah, I approach this fight as there is a lot of pressure on this fight, but pressure is something that you put on yourself. And I feel because I've trained hard with my team and got some great rounds of sparring and bag work, running, all of that, I feel like I'm in a good place to put on a great performance.
Does that great performance include a knockout? Because there are questions about where is where are those punches?
Yeah, there's no secret that going into a fighter wants a knockout. That's what I'm going to be looking for. I think that's what he's going to be looking for too, but I know that I possess the power to knock him out.
How do you respond to the suggestion that you might be slower?
Well, it's one way to find out. On Saturday.
Do you pick a knockout in this fight? Will
Yeah,
you knock out Junior Farr?
That's my plan. That's what I want to do.
Do you have any particular round that you would like to throw out there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So early in the fight.
I want to get him early.
Okay. How are those hands? They're good? The elbows are all fine?
The good thing about the postponement that David mentioned is that we're both 100% now. He was able to take care of his health issues, and I was able to take care of my elbows. So this is there's no excuses. Come Saturday, when we fight, we're both at 100%, and whoever wins is the best in New Zealand.
Do you guys actually like each other?
Oh, he's a good guy. I like Junior.
Really, until you get in the ring?
The ring is all business. You know, he wants to knock my head off, and I want to do the same.
Do you like him?
I think I grow a better beard.
He's a nice fella. He's a nice guy. It's all business at the end of the day.
All
And,
right.
I've been training to take his head off. He's training to take mine. So, yeah, it's all good.
Okay, let's move on. Mark Cadell, Junior's manager, down the end, looking a lot healthier. You look healthy, mate. You're looking good, Nick. You look happy about what's going on. But you've hinted that there are people at Duco who weren't fond of reports coming out where you're opposing the judges and the officials and making comments about the gloves. So now's your time. Let's just get this out in the air.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Eugene and I and Doug sat down and we looked at the list of judges, and as I said in the paper the other day, the Barry family is a very famous, successful Christchurch family, and we just thought it was a couple of Auckland boys fighting, so we should have Auckland judges, and we felt pretty strongly about that, didn't we, Eugene?
Well, we definitely
Just come a bit further forward, please.
we definitely didn't want Kevin's mate from the pub to be one of the judges. So he was the contentious judge, and
So are you suggesting you feel like you're being worked against when it comes to the judges? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I think, I mean, look, everyone wants an advantage, right, eh? Everyone wants bias. You know, we want the crowd to be on our side. Joseph will want the crowd to be on his side. You know, we like the judges to see it our way. They'll like the judges to see it their way. So, you know, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we just have a good, clean competition. And like I said, we don't want any kind of bias from other parts of the country.
So you feel there is bias? You feel you're not getting a fair deal going into this?
Well, we've negotiated it so that we feel like we've got a fair deal moving forward, and I think that's all being signed off as we speak, David. And but yeah, you know, we want a fair shake of it. Yeah.
David, you want to respond to the comments?
Dealing with Mark Cadell's been trickier than dealing with Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum, because it's his big moment to shine. You know, he's the smartest man in the room. So we're actually a lot more relaxed about it, because when Junior's lying on the ground, it doesn't matter who the judges are.
Steve, I'd like to respond.
Kevin, I'm going to now allow you to just maybe want to lean forward a bit, KB.
Yeah. It's really, it's quite flattering what they were saying about my influence in Christchurch. You know, I left Christchurch in 1992, and I haven't lived in Christchurch or New Zealand for nearly 3 decades. So the fact that I have all this influence with the officials in Christchurch is really laughable. Sure, I was born in Christchurch, so was Mark Cadell. We're both Cantabrians. In fact, Mark Cadell and I went to the same school. So it would be fair to say the fact that he lives here in New Zealand, that he would have more influence with contacts with people in Christchurch and New Zealand than what I do.
So let's talk about the training camps, because there's been a lot of talk and I'm hearing a lot of chatter about whose is the better training camp. Eugene Behrman, who was the assistant, by the way, to the trainer Doug Viner. Eugene, there has been a suggestion coming from others that maybe it's not a good thing that Junior is training sort of in an open forum with MMA fighters, not specifically boxers. What's your response to that?
Celebrity trainer's back, baby. Doug is the head trainer. I'm the media trainer. Okay, so I just always, out of respect, I always try to make that clear that we have a fantastic coaching team, and I'm a very small part of it, to be honest. Mox is a big part of it. Doug's a big part of it. But look, not training with a boxing team, we have one of the best boxing teams in the country at the moment training at City Kickboxing. We have some of the best amateur boxing fighters. There's a group of about 25 boxers that run at the track every Saturday. That's a pretty big boxing team in this country. Unfortunately, just because of the way things are, our boxing team gets a little bit overshadowed by some of these other celebrity fighters that we have at the gym. But he's training with boxers, very good, high-quality boxers for this whole camp, and a fantastic boxing team, the City Kickboxing boxing team, which is, yeah, like I said, is a legit boxing team, one of the best in the country at the moment. We have the added benefit of being able to throw some of these UFC guys in here who we think are suitable to give us the right look for Joseph, and we've used that resource as well to help Junior. It can't bring anything, it can't be anything but positive.
We have heard around the traps, you know, the chatter, that you feel yours is the better approach, that maybe Joseph needs a new trainer, needs a new head trainer.
I mean, Joseph has said to me that he wanted to come to City Kickboxing. You have to talk to him about in what capacity. Maybe he just wanted to come and have a cup of tea with me. Maybe he just wanted to train. Maybe, I don't know. We never got into the details, but I will email him the gym fees tomorrow, and then he can look over the gym fees, and if he can afford it, which I think he can, then he can join the gym like everybody else.
So, Kevin, you'd like to respond, understandably?
Why?
Well, do you want to respond?
Look, I'll tell you, one thing we do know is, like, it's very, very common this close to a fight that the other teams, either the fighters or the people around the team, make comments to deflect from the fight, to try and raise an emotional response, to try and get you to lose your focus. Well, right at the moment, Joseph, myself, David Higgins, and our whole team are very, very focused. We understand the significance of this fight. We aren't going to be dragged into any out of the ring discussions. Our focus is inside the ring, as you will see on Saturday night.
Wow, you are a changed man. Let's talk about where Joseph is. You talk about the significance of this fight. My earlier question was suggesting, is this a maker or a breaker career-wise? What statement do you need to make for the rest of the boxing world from Joseph Parker?
Oh, it's me, to me.
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Obviously, it's very, very important for us. And when you said before, is this a make or break fight for us? Yes. The answer is yes. If we do not deliver on Saturday night, it's going to be very, very hard for us to get back into any position to fight a top 5, a top 10 fighter, let alone a world title shot. We still believe in Joseph, totally, 100%. He believes in himself. Our goal is to get back into the ring fighting for the world title, and it starts by knocking out Junior Farr on Saturday night. Look, it's very, very exciting for New Zealand to have a number 5 in the world fight a number 3 in the world. And really, you know, the job that's been done by both teams to secure these positions is very, very creditable. And the winner of this fight is going to find himself in a terrific position moving forward. We're just going to make sure that that is us moving forward.
So let's just one final thought on what you think about the other fighter, both from a trainer's perspective. I'll go with you, Kevin, since you're still holding the mic. Where do you feel you can get Junior Farr?
Well, look, you know, firstly, Doug's done a fantastic job in getting Junior to 19-0. And, you know, he's built his skill up over the last 4 years. But it is only 4 years. And Junior Farr is still not tested. He's definitely not tested in this type of arena. He's fighting against, you know, a fighter who has 21 knockouts and has 27 victories. He's coming off knockout wins in his last 3 fights. Junior's gone the distance twice in his last 3 fights. Joseph Parker is one of the elite fighters in the world at the moment. And we will see that on Saturday night. There is a huge, big difference here. There is a huge step up in class for Junior. And I'm not saying he can't do it, because this is his opportunity to shine. But, you know, when the bright lights go on and you walk out to the ring, it's not everybody's cup of tea. One thing I can tell you about Joseph Parker is one of the strengths of him is that when the lights are at the brightest, it's when he is at the happiest. He loves the pressure. He's shown that right throughout his career. On Saturday night, this will be a new experience for Junior, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. He's never been tested like he'll be tested on Saturday night. And hey, all good luck to him. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't know him personally, but he's done a great job to getting to 19-0. But this is a different level that he is in, and he'll see that on Saturday night.
And just before I come to you, Eugene, I have to ask Mark Cadell, because I've asked you this question before. I want to get it clear in your head. Is this fight too soon for Junior Farr?
No, I mean, we had some great news 2 weeks ago. We were trying to get him to 90% of his blood work by fight night and focus on other areas of you know, mental performance and game plan to get a victory. And so we didn't have all the tools in the box, and we weren't going to talk about that. But, you know, luckily, you know, when I say luckily, we've done a lot of work. You know, Dr. Sarah Bell, David Neathy, you know, Glenn Kearney, nutrition, the boys at the gym have done an amazing job, and we had the full 100% blood work came back 2 weeks ago. We were well ahead of schedule. We couldn't believe it. It was we were really chuffed. So we know, you know, how and we could see it in the performance, you know, because at the end of the day, when things aren't right, you see it in the sparring. You know, that's how we noticed it last time, that something had happened very quickly. Something happened to Junior, and we had an issue, and we had to deal with it. And just like this camp here, you know, probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, this was our target, and 2 weeks ago we got the 100%, and so we're over the moon that he is 100% fully fit.
And you have seen that?
Yeah, no, we get the black and whites of it. You know, I think I said a few press conferences ago, you can't fudge a blood test. You know, it's just is what it is, and so Junior's was perfect. So we're over the moon. So we're over the moon with his health. We are absolutely chuffed with the performance and the support of the doctors and nutrition and the mental performance guys to support Junior, to put the right game plan in place and to be able to execute it. It's nice and fun having a plan then there's actually achieving the goal of the plan, and we've done that. So, you know, and that also comes down from discipline of junior, following what we said him, you know, because it's easy to derail off the tracks with this, and so we aced it, and we gave ourselves a pat on the back for it, and we're really happy, you know.
Okay, usually I'll ask you now to respond to comments of Kevin and ask you, how are you going to execute a victory for Junior Fire against Joseph Parker?
Yeah, look, you can't actually argue with anything Kevin said. Like, every fighter reaches a point in their career where they have to hit the next level, take the step up, announce himself to the world. Joseph, at one point in his career, had to do it. And Joseph had to battle all the things that Kevin talked about himself, except obviously with a different opponent. Junior's at that same point in his career. And I mean, we're gracious enough that Joseph has given us this opportunity. And we're going to 100% make the most of this opportunity. We are going to treat this fight like we should be treating it. We've got nothing to lose. There's no pressure on us. We're going to get an early lead in this fight, and we're going to maintain that lead. If an opportunity comes to hurt Joseph, we'll take advantage of it, but we're going to get an early lead. We're going to hold on to that lead, and Junior's going to get his hand raised, and he's good to go via decision. But if an opportunity arises, then we're going to take it. We must remember, look, let me pay a little bit of homage to the human side of the sport. Joseph has a dream to get back a world title. Junior has a dream to set up his family and his young kids for the rest of their lives. Someone's not going to be able to achieve that dream. Someone's going to get that dream shattered. That's the other side of the sport that we have to understand, is that one of these guys is going to fade away a little bit, and they're going to go into, you know, what fighters go through, a bit of a depression, and they're going to have to rebuild themselves. That's sad. That's sad. But that's just how the sport works. There can only be one winner. And, you know, unfortunately for Joseph and Kevin, it's going to be us on Saturday. That's all I've got to say.
Plenty. All right, final thoughts from the two fighters. Junior, I'll give you a chance just to get those final thoughts off your chest, and then you can start focusing on the questions that are going to be asked from my press colleagues. So, final thoughts on the fight?
I feel good. I can't wait for Saturday night. I'll see you guys there.
Short and sweet, Joseph?
Yeah. Well, great to have my parents and uncle here. My team, Parker, thanks for being a great support throughout the camp. And good to see the other fighters here on the undercard. It's going to be exciting to see them fight. You'll hear me, John, Panuve, and very looking forward to putting on a great show.
Thank you, Joseph. All right, now, just a reminder to the assembled media, there are no one-on-ones today, okay? No, you love them, but you're not going to get them. So you've got to raise your hand, we'll give you a microphone, and ask away to any of the people at the top table. So put your hand up and ask away. Don't all rush. James, TV3.
Junior, there's no secret that if he knocks you out, he'll likely face Derek Chisora next. Is that a fight that if you win, you'll want to demand?
Yep, of course. You know, they've been putting up posts about a possible fight after me. So, you know, I come out victorious on Saturday. I suppose that fight should be there for me.
Questions? Hands up, please, just for our microphones.
David, where are we at with the judges and those negotiations?
So we followed the contract process, which was the NZPBA nominate a list that gets sent to the WBO. They signed it off, but then Mark kicked up a fuss and so about Christchurch, and so Mark and I got together, and I think we're nearly there. We gave a compromise in that we allowed a judge in that was not top of our list, and vice versa. So bar a couple of little things like who's supervising in the dressing room, I think we'll get there in the next couple of days. But right now, I can't tell you the full list of officials.
No gloves issues?
The gloving process was intricately written into the contract in a step-by-step manner, such that Yeah, so no, the gloves certainly won't be an excuse for their side on Saturday.
No glove issues, Mark?
No glove issues. The contract's pretty clear. The guys get the gloves an hour and a half before the fight delivered, and then no one's allowed to touch the gloves until they go into the fighter's hands. And we're really happy with that. And yeah, happy days.
Further questions? Just put your hand up, please. James again.
It's also been made clear that Joe needs a quick knockout. Do you play into that, Eugene, as part of your plan?
Yeah, I mean, our strategy, as with all strategy, is multifaceted, and we've made allowances for Joseph to come on early. In fact, we think he's probably going to come out early quite hard, and we've definitely prepared for that. So we're looking forward to it.
So just remember, no one-on-ones if there are no further questions. Any more further? There's a hand up. Could someone pass? Oh, okay, missed that one.
I mean, there has been in junior as well, there has been a lot of talk about Chisora for Joe. Do you think, or there's a sense in their camp that they're looking past you guys?
Look, it's part of human nature when you're like being to the heights that Joseph's at, and you've got the people around him that Joseph has, without trying to offend the people around him who are telling him that he's this and that. You want to. It's natural for you to look past someone who doesn't have as big a name, who you perceive to not be on the same level as you. But that's. I can't talk about this too much because that's what I want Joseph to do. Because that plays into our hands perfectly. So, yeah, I mean, that's a question for them whether they're looking past junior. Realistically, they're going to say no. In reality, we will never know. You know, you've got to delve into these guys' minds really deeply. Yeah.
Questions?
Junior, Eugene spoke about this and a win for you being potentially life-changing. What would a win mean for you and your family?
Life-changing. Yeah, so, you know, this sets up an awesome career, you know. This sets up big fights for me, which means I can provide more for my family as well. Yeah, and just really solidify my place in the heavyweight division, which is what I want.
And Joe, in terms of chasing a knockout, how does that dynamic make your approach different? I mean, have you ever gone into a fight really wanting and pursuing a knockout as much as you are in this fight?
I say that I want a knockout, but we have a plan in place. I'll go in there, execute the plan, and have fun. You know, all the hard work's been done in the camp, you know, all early mornings and all the training sessions. Now it's time to dance. And when you let it flow, it just happens.
Patrick?
Joe, will you be looking at city kickboxing membership fees? Can you just give us a rundown of the background to that, please?
Yeah, I think we discussed a cup of tea, like you mentioned, and then more so when I beat Junior, then I can use them for sparring and we can help each other.
Oh, there is a rematch clause after the win, Joe. So 2 fights down the track, probably.
So that's the only reason that I'll be there.
Kevin, can you speak to Joe's fitness and form? He's had some major fights before. How does he compare to, say, the build-up to the Ruiz or Joshua fight?
Well, I can honestly tell you that the Joseph Parker that will enter the ring on Saturday night is in much better shape, both physically and mentally, than the Joseph Parker that stepped into the ring against Andy Ruiz. And a lot of people might find that hard to believe, but Joe will back me up on this. We're in really good shape. You know, the postponement of the fight actually played into our hands really well. As it was well documented, you know, I came out here in October for a 7-week camp. Eugene thought we were taking the fight lightly, and we should have done a longer camp. We had 45 rounds of sparring in prior to Christmas. We've sparred 101 rounds since January 4, which is a lot of sparring. So Joe is, we had the surgery, but he's in very good shape and he's well prepared, and it's a much better Joseph Parker for February 27th than the one we would have seen on December 12th.
And just with the elbow surgery, you said a couple of weeks ago that he was punching pain-free. Junior didn't seem to think that would be the case, that he'd still be feeling it a little bit. Can you clear that up?
Punching, no pain. Yeah, he'll see it on Saturday when they come flying.
Was that fighting talk?
Weak talk.
Any more questions? Oh, yep.
Joe, I just, when you look back to 2009 and the way David Tour came out and sort of silenced a lot of doubters back then and that explosive performance, do you sort of take inspiration from that and maybe channel a bit of that yourself this weekend?
Yeah, that was one of the big fights here in New Zealand. It was great to watch. I remember watching it and seeing the performance that he put on, and you can take a bit of inspiration from what he did, coming out fast and strong, finishing it early.
Okay, look, we're going to do a face-off in just a moment, but just to make this easy, I'll just close this press conference officially. Thank you all for coming and getting a little bit excited. I know we're all excited about this one. For the Stonewood Homes Joseph Parker Junior Far Heavyweight Bout in association with Headquarters. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster. They start at $69. PPV, that's pay-per-view, is $49.99. You can purchase that at sparksport.co.nz. It'll be broadcast here in New Zealand on Spark Sport pay-per-view. Main event channel 521 in Australia, TV3 in Samoa, and worldwide on DAZN. Once again, our thanks to the suite of sponsors that have made this possible in a crazy old world. We are incredibly lucky, and just to remember that. But right now, I'll ask the two fighters to come out and stand in front for a face-off. And good luck, everybody. Bring it on.